All right. Hello, everybody. Welcome to the first round of Swiss at our September local here at Sunnyvale in the CardArt card shop. My name is Zach.
Name is Ben.
Got Ben here on the stream here. So we've got a pretty exciting match coming up. Round one. This is going to be our last local before we have CP locals coming back in October. So this one's just for a little bit of fun. We're gonna, and of course, some glory as someone is vying for potentially getting a second championship here at locally. So we'll have to see how that goes. But
And some money.
and some money, of course. Very good point. We'll have to see how it pans out. But of course, this is the start of a pretty long day. We're gonna have 5 rounds of Swiss today. But of course, this does start with round one. So let's jump into the teams that we're going to be previewing here. All right. So we've got some pretty exciting match. Let's talk about this matchup.
Oh man. Okay, so we've got Elizabeth D versus Melissa O, and Melissa it's a dog team.
It's a dog team. It's so cool. It's a dog team.
We've got Houndoom, Houndstone, Mabosstiff, Arcanine, Dachsbun, yes, thank you, and excuse me,
Dusk form of Lycanroc.
Dusk form Lycanroc. I'm so used to calling it
Doritos Lycanroc.
Doritos Lycanroc. I completely blanked on it. And then a more standard looking pair or set of 6 on the other side. Flutter Mane, Iron Hands, Corviknight, Heatran, Urshifu. It's going to be that Rapid Strike, and Chi-Yu.
Yeah, this is going to be pretty interesting. You say it's a more common set of Pokemon, and I think that is definitely the case. Not often be an all dogs team, as cool as that is. But it is weird to have like Corviknight and Chi. They kind of like overlap a decent amount. Doubling up on fire types might make Dachsbun like surprisingly useful here, and Houndoom, right? They both have abilities that can make them immune to fire. I mean, even Arcanine could have Flash Fire, probably doesn't. 3 potential fire immunities that Elizabeth worry about, so that makes Heatran probably a little bit harder to bring into this match.
EU as well. The dogs are looking surprisingly good in the face of this mostly meta-looking team. The fire immunities are definitely, I would think, Iron Hand definitely has to be careful because the number of fighting weaknesses. Houndstone and
Lycanroc.
And we have an immediate disconnect, so we will have to go back, restart the battle. Oh, for you, it happens.
It wouldn't be a Scarlet Violet tournament without a turn 1. So we're gonna get that sorted out pretty quickly, but I'm kind of okay with that because we get to talk a little bit more about some of the parts of this dog.
Yeah, there's a lot to unpack here.
So I think this should be fine. Should be fine here. So let's see. So the dog Pokemon that we don't see terribly often.
That's pretty much all of them for those at home.
Well, you see Arcanine.
Well, Arcanine outstanding.
Yeah, but this isn't actually pretty Arcanine. This Air Fairy with Play Rough options, so even more threatening likes of Iron Hand. What was the Urshifu? Both of those fairy types. And also carries Will-O-Wisp.
One thing to note about the Will-O-Wisp, this Iron Hands is not a typical Iron Hands. It actually has Pod as a coverage move. Burn is not going to be as good against it. This is really, really, really interesting right out of the gate for round 1, I think.
Another interesting point of Houndstone is carrying the Rocky helmets. Big. Obviously it wants urging strikes, and half of it's that Rocky helmet. Not the fun dogs team.
One other item note seeing here, the Chi-Yu side is actually eject pack with overheat. Something that we've seen before on Pokemon Torkoal. So that Torkoal can set Sun attack, switch out, give something a safe switch. I have not seen eject pack on.
Interesting option. After you use an overheat, which is just an absolute nuke of a move, just immediately leave and don't have to worry about having those drops lingering around longer than
You get to keep your Chi-Yu safe, bring it in later, so it can click overheat again. Because if anything at maximum power 2 times in a row, it's probably overheat. That's the most amount of damage it's going to be able to do.
They're still coming. Also worth noting is Dachsbun, Baked Body, and Flash Fire are 2 fire immunities. Q in particular. Q, not very good into Houndoom. Weirdly enough, this Houndoom also has Snarl, so yeah, she's really not liking this.
Houndoom is a pretty cool option. Houndoom is I think one of the best Pokemon you could bring in.
It's strong. This one also has Terra Water, Terra Blast for a way to actually offensively threaten. We prep a little bit. The players are just getting back into pretty shortly. Interesting.
Corviknight, since wearing the safety goggles item, not going to be that impactful. I imagine that will become useful pretty quickly. Mungus is a very common Pokemon. Corviknight being immune to it, especially flying Terra typing, means that it has Brave Birds that will hit very hard.
The safety goggles could come up because this Houndstone does know Sandstorm. Corviknight tears and then Sandstorm gets activated. Could matter, but have to check out. So we'll see how the trainers are approach back into. And fingers crossed, no turn 1 disconnect this time.
See the same leads, just like. And okay, we are into the game.
Heatran Iron Hands versus Houndstone. Wait. What about the boost? This one.
Houndstone is not going to mind taking, because it will not take any. Lycanroc takes some immediate play roll. Lycanroc doing, frankly, more damage than I expected it to do.
Life Orb plus Tough Claws would do a lot here. With sand, but the power follow quickly. And not enough to get busted critical hit.
Maybe a critical hit there, although the Drain Punch was like a spell to be either way, unless it was very heavy addiction on
pushing out there potentially, but
yes,
probably a double up. Elizabeth does know that he not actually but Houndoom is now on the field. Both the Hounds, Houndstone and Houndoom.
Double Hounds on the side of Melissa. Not a common occurrence to see one of them, let alone both of them. Houndoom, on the one hand, is in a pretty good spot. Houndoom doesn't mind sitting on the other side all that much, has to give the Earth Power. That he does have to be wary heavily. And we are seeing is going to be that Houndoom into the
water type Houndoom, actually dodge, Brain Punch, a Psychic Fangs from Houndstone, the Iron Hand. Houndoom is now off the field. Houndoom gets perfect Terra Water, Terra Blast. Huge amount of damage into that. He does survive the fall.
I would say Houndstone getting pretty comfortable. Really Flutter Mane.
Yeah, Flutter Mane's gonna be able to play a huge amount. But one thing on that Melissa has had one Pokemon whose last respect on base power ghost move. Probably. Eventually. Hey. Elizabeth is not out of the loop. That's where Houndstone's play it safe this time.
sense. Flutter Mane is going to walk into. It is a Thunderbolt. It's Water Houndoom, and Houndoom is not going to be able to, not able to help us. Houndoom. Follow up.
Makes a lot of sense. Thunderbolts to get rid of the mind, give you a flash right. This is forced into final Pokemon, which is Dachsbun. Another Pokemon immune to fire. Thunderbolt's not going to be doing too much.
I would. I don't really Flutter Mane, but there's a whole lot. It does go down.
Yep. That is a 150 base power. That's just Houndstone. Down here doing a lot of damage. Big! To be able to dodge way of that heavy for Adeptio. Time super effective move onto this frame here. Urshifu is revealed to be the final Pokemon here. I think Melissa's might have the upper hand here.
Yeah, I think the dogs might be able to figure this one out, shall I say. Currently, Dachsbun is immune to surging strikes because
it's underground.
It's underground. You can't punch a dog that's underground. That's illegal.
Heatran kind of left awkward spot here. It's kind of forced to crystallize for a grass to not big from Dachsbun. I didn't think I'd say today.
Ever.
Fair enough. Yeah, this Heatran actually does not carry protect, so that big is a pretty safe option here. I think about half. The surgeon 60. Houndoom does a solid. Looks like it might be able to get the KO. Yeah, with just 2 hits, it takes 2 there. Houndstone a lot, but quite enough to fire. Big going into not doing too much now. Fast typing. Ooh, does a lot of damage. It's really low health poke. Dachsbun have quite enough left in the tank as the Aqua Jet will.
That was, I think, a pretty close game, all things. The fact that Terra had to come out there, prevent Heatran being felled from the digging dog is, as you said, not really expected. To say
it was a pretty
today,
nice pin, yeah.
It was
forced out
nice
the Terra.
Notably, this Heatran is carrying the focus set, not to be called the item like. So if it needs to, it can take one dig.
Might not be the wait. That was a pretty interesting option as our game there. So, what if you're Melissa? What are the adjustments? Wonderful dogs. The Terra on Houndoom might have been a bit.
Yeah, I think the terrestrialization on Houndoom came out a little early. It didn't end up really mattering. Iron Hand taken out. Fire off an electric. Or a fighting attack, rather. I think I would like to see Arcanine come in this game.
Would be pretty. I think something that can have a better. Who has? There's no water resistance without Terra on.
It's tough because I'm so thrown by this team. I haven't seen anything like it before.
Yeah, this is such a fun team. This is the kind of fun teams at local. We are jumping into game 2 here, so we do see the same lead of, I would say, the double dog lead, but that's literally every lead that Melissa can go for. Houndstone, Lycanroc versus Flutter Mane.
I think Flutter Mane is in a better spot in this game than it was in the previous game. Ostensibly, probably, fastest. Not yet. Could be able to comfortably target whichever spot.
Houndstone just have. There's no way of this. All from a little bit pinned, but as a result, play defensively. Ironhead, the Lycanroc is faster, plus life orb. Flutter Mane hit out the gate. That is a huge Lycanroc. A lot of damage here.
Yeah, that's a very important thing there. And because Sand is not up, Lycanroc does not have a special boost and is felled by that power. So a 1-for-1 trade. But I think I might be happier about that.
Get rid of Flutter Mane, which was the biggest threat for Houndstone. Houndstone is still in a spot here. The other thing you have to be very wary of is, like, it's a weird thing when you're playing against Houndstone. You want to take KOs to win the game, but you don't want to take KOs because it powers up Last Respect. Now Houndstone has a 100 base power, no drawback ghost move that it can do pretty big damage to either of these. You see Urshifu and Dachsbun.
I would think if I'm Dachsbun, we did see last game Dachsbun out.
I believe so, yeah, it does. Because it got hit by the dig, it digged, and then
Dachsbun is free to go for another dig again. We do see Surging going in. Rocky Helmet chip going to chip away at the Urshifu. It looks like it might be able to pick up the go. Might be able does pick up.
Wow, that's a fun. It gets a lot of damage in with Rocky. Got Houndstone. You see yet another dig. Void damage from Heatran's Heavy Slam and a potential follow-up attack from Urshifu next turn. It does not high carry protect, so it has to Terra or eat a dig and get brought down to its focus dash.
Could also switch out, but we saw that the one in the back with Iron Hands is not really going to want to eat a super effective dig either.
Maybe it's fine with it. I don't know. I'm not sure. I don't know my Dachsbun dig calcs. I'm sorry. I've let the stream down. Let's talk about the Houndoom that just hit the field as well. It's really threatened by Urshifu. It almost has to Terastallize here. Fire typing, not instantly felled by a Surging Strike. A little bit telegraphed.
Yeah, I fully expect fair water. Because otherwise, yeah, it's not going to get to do anything in this game. We do see the Terra coming out on the Houndoom. Here, the Hell Dog donning the Fountain Helmet.
How well this Houndoom's going to be able to take it. Houndoom's actually faster than the Urshifu. Goes for the Sludge Bomb. Doesn't quite get the knockout. The Surgeon's takes Dig, though, not quite. But Dig doesn't even get. Heavy Slam does a solid chunk of Dachsbun. This is still good. Houndoom looks to be the fastest thing on the field, and looks like it could potentially pick up a either of Elizabeth's both.
Houndoom being the fastest thing on the field is not something that I've said since Regulation A, but hey, it's cool to say. Flood Bomb is a pretty good coverage move for Houndoom to have. Not the greatest in the current spot, but does at least allow Melissa to hit Urshifu neutrally. Doesn't get the poison on that previous turn, otherwise might have been able to take out the Urshifu. Not doing any quick math. Dachsbun barely hanging on from that Aqua Jet. That's a big deal. Snarl goes into Heatran, goes lower the attack stat, and critically is enough to take out the Urshifu.
Does not take down the Heatran yet, though, so we can see that the Thunder Fang, but this is the Heatran, so Heatran gets to survive with 7 hit points and KO Dachsbun here, so it is pounding full on the water with this Heatran at 7 health, which you can definitely do. I think the big problem is going to be Elizabeth's Iron Hands lurking in the back, ready to Thunder Punch a wild charge straight into H.
Yeah, I'm a big fan of Houndoom. I like Houndoom quite a bit. I think it has some very cool attributes. Flash Fire is a very strong ability to have. Fast, good. That's mitigating something like Heatran, but Iron Hands is a pretty effective way to put a stop to Houndoom. Pressure. That was hurting. Doing a lot of damage.
This Houndoom also does not carry Protect. So let's take out a very safe option. Aeroblast from. Flip the script on this Houndoom. 2-0 victory for Elizabeth. The dogs put up a very good fight, though. I can't say otherwise.
No, I think the dogs did a pretty good job in that set. The dogs doing their best. Unfortunately, didn't quite.
I mean, when you're running 6 dogs, I don't know. Eating the whole for fun, and that was a pretty. When Dig being an offensive menace, that happened. That's kind of awesome. Like, scratch that off your bingo card as if you had it.
Which you didn't, by the
Well,
way.
you probably didn't. I would not have had that card.
So no, that's very cool. I hope to see. I hope this team is able to pick up some.
I definitely think
upcoming rounds because I think it definitely can. It's got some very cool tools.
It's very easy to underestimate something like that. It's stronger than it looks on the surface. You're like, 6 dogs. Oh, it's a joke, right?
It's just a meme team. Oh, it's just 6 dogs. But no, 6 dogs. It turns out a person with 6 dogs can actually walk all over you.
Yeah. So we'll see how that pans out in the rest of the tournament. But for now, that's everything from round 1. So we'll see you all in round 2. We'll be back shortly, and don't go anywhere.